I want to speak to you plainly, without romance and without illusion, because the market has no patience for comforting lies. I have seen brilliant men stay broke for decades, and I have seen ordinary men build fortunes simply because they learned how to think correctly. The difference was never intelligence. It was never access. It was never luck. It was always discipline, or the absence of it. Most traders do not fail loudly. They fail quietly, year after year, convincing themselves they are almost there, while repeating the same mistakes that keep them exactly where they started. The market does not destroy traders overnight. It erodes them. It takes a little through impatience, a little through overconfidence, a little through fear, until one day the trader wakes up exhausted, confused, and broke, wondering how so much effort produced so little reward. I know this path well, because I walked it myself. Every costly lesson I learned was paid for not with ignorance, but with emotion. And that is why most traders never escape this cycle. They try to solve an emotional problem with technical tools. If you have ever asked yourself why you can see the setup clearly after the move, why you exit winners too early but hold losers too long, why discipline feels easy in hindsight, but impossible in real time, then this message is for you. This is not about finding a better indicator. This is about understanding why most traders stay broke their entire careers, even after years in the market. As you listen, I want you to approach this not as entertainment, but as a mirror. And if this way of thinking resonates with you, make sure to explore the other videos on this channel. They are all connected, each one building on the same principles of patience, timing, and risk. Also, you'll find a link in the description to our new ebook, Thinking Like Jesse Livermore, Mastering the Market with Discipline, Patience, and Risk. Read it not for excitement, but for correction. Because until a trader learns how to think, the market will continue teaching him the same lesson at his expense. Now let me tell you exactly why so many never learn it. The first reason is that most traders never slow down long enough to study themselves. They study charts, patterns, indicators, and news, but they never study their own reactions. They do not observe how fear tightens their decisions or how greed loosens their discipline. They do not notice how impatience pushes them into trades that do not belong to them. The market reflects a trader's weaknesses with brutal accuracy, but most men refuse to look closely at that reflection. When I began, I believed success would come from knowing more than others. I believed the man with the most information would win. That illusion cost me dearly. Information is abundant. Opportunity is common. What is rare is the ability to wait until the market aligns with your rules, and then act without hesitation or doubt. Most traders invert this process. They act quickly when they should wait, and hesitate when they should act. This single inversion ruins more accounts than any bad strategy ever could. The average trader enters a position because price is moving, because excitement is high, because the fear of missing out is louder than reason. He exits not because his plan demands it, but because emotion demands relief. He feels smart when he is active and uncomfortable when he is still. But the market rewards neither activity nor comfort. It rewards correctness over time. Reaction is expensive. Preparation is profitable. Another reason traders stay broke is their intolerance for boredom. They believe constant engagement equals progress. But speculation is not a business of constant action. It is a business of selective action. The greatest opportunities arrive quietly, after long periods of waiting. Trends begin when most traders are distracted, discouraged, or emotionally depleted. The man who survives is the man who conserved his energy and capital, while others wasted theirs. I learned through loss and repetition that discipline cannot be improvised. You cannot suddenly become calm when money is at risk. You either have rules before the trade begins, or you will invent excuses after it goes wrong. Hope is not a strategy. Confidence without structure is recklessness. And yet most traders rely on both. Losses are misunderstood as personal failures. They are not. They are business expenses. The trader who cannot accept small losses calmly will eventually accept large ones emotionally. Pride convinces him to hold. Hope convinces him to wait. and the market convinces him otherwise. This cycle repeats endlessly because the trader never changes the behavior that created it. Most traders trade too large for their level of understanding. Size magnifies emotion. Emotion clouds judgment. Clouded judgment leads to mistakes. Many traders could become profitable simply by trading smaller and thinking clearer, but impatience convinces them that small gains are meaningless. They forget that every fortune is built incrementally, never explosively. If you recognize yourself here, that recognition is progress. Most traders never even arrive at awareness. They blame the market, the broker, the system, or luck. You are here because something inside you knows there must be another way. And there is, but it demands change. And once this realization settles in, a deeper truth begins to surface. The second reason traders remain broke is that they confuse confidence with certainty. They believe they must be right to be successful. This belief is fatal. The market does not reward certainty. It rewards probability management. Every trade is uncertain. The professional accepts this before entering. The amateur fights it afterward. I never entered a trade believing I was right. I entered knowing where I was wrong. That distinction is everything. When you know precisely where you are wrong, you control risk. When you believe you are right, you surrender to hope. And hope is the most expensive emotion in speculation. Most traders cannot separate their identity from their trades. A loss feels like a personal failure. A win feels like validation. This emotional attachment destroys consistency. You cannot judge your worth by outcomes that are probabilistic. You must judge yourself by your process. The trader who evaluates himself based on execution remains stable. The trader who evaluates himself based on results becomes emotional. Another reason traders stay poor is inconsistency of method. They abandon strategies not because they are flawed, but because they experience normal drawdowns. Every method has losing periods. The trader who survives is the one who sizes correctly and remains disciplined through them. The trader who fails changes direction at precisely the wrong moment. The market tests conviction mercilessly. It will challenge you emotionally before it rewards you financially. Most traders mistake discomfort for danger and retreat just before the opportunity unfolds. They then chase the move after it is obvious, entering late and exiting early. This behavior alone ensures mediocrity. Risk management is often discussed but rarely practiced. It is not about avoiding losses. It is about controlling them. Capital is finite. Opportunity is infinite. The trader who protects capital survives long enough to capitalize on opportunity. The trader who risks too much disappears. Patience is not passive. It is active restraint. It requires confidence, preparation, and trust in your process. Most traders lack this trust because they never fully committed to a process. They improvise. They react. They adjust emotionally. The market punishes this behavior without mercy. I urge you again to explore the other videos on this channel. Each one reinforces this same discipline from a different angle, and return to the ebook linked below. Thinking like Jesse Livermore. Mastering the market with discipline, patience, and risk exists to strengthen your thinking when pressure erodes clarity. And now we arrive at the final and most important reason traders stay broke. The final reason most traders never succeed is the one they resist the most. They never accept full responsibility for their results. They search endlessly for explanations outside themselves: market manipulation, bad news, algorithms, brokers, timing, anything that softens the truth. But the market is not cruel, and it is not kind. It is precise. It delivers results that match behavior with ruthless accuracy. The moment a trader accepts this fully, without excuse or defense, his entire relationship with the market begins to change. Responsibility feels heavy at first. It removes the comfort of blame. It forces you to look directly at your habits, your decisions, and your patterns of thought. But responsibility is also freedom, because what you fully own, you can change. Until that moment arrives, a trader remains trapped, repeating the same cycle, hoping the next trade, the next strategy, or the next market condition will finally rescue him. I spent years believing the market had changed, when in truth it was I who needed to change. I blamed volatility, timing, even my own brilliance at times. But the market did not respond to my opinions. It responded only to my actions. When I finally understood that profits come not from prediction, but from alignment, everything became simpler, not easier but clearer. Most traders approach the market with urgency. They feel behind. They feel pressured by time, by bills, by comparison. That pressure leaks into every decision. They rush entries. They force trades. They size too large. Urgency is invisible, but it is deadly. The market does not respond to urgency. It responds to patience. And patience cannot be faked. It is earned through preparation and restraint. There is a quiet confidence that develops when a trader stops trying to win every day and starts trying to survive every day. Survival sounds modest, but it is the foundation of every great fortune. If you are still in the game, opportunity will return. If you are reckless, opportunity will arrive after you are already gone. Most traders never learn this distinction until it is too late. The market will test you at your weakest point. If you are impatient, it will move slowly. If you are fearful, it will shake violently. If you are overconfident, it will humble you without warning. These tests are not personal. They are structural. The trader who understands this stops fighting the test and starts preparing for it. One of the greatest mistakes traders make is believing discipline is something you feel. Discipline is not a feeling. It is a decision repeated so often that it becomes automatic. You do not wait to feel disciplined before following your rules. You follow your rules precisely so that discipline no longer depends on feeling. Emotion fades. Structure remains. This is why so many traders collapse during winning periods. Success loosens their rules. Confidence turns into carelessness. Size increases. Risk expands. And eventually, the market reclaims what was taken without respect. The trader who survives success is rarer than the trader who survives failure. Both require humility. Humility does not mean doubt. It means awareness. It means knowing that the market is always larger, always stronger, and always capable of doing the unexpected. When you trade with humility, you stop trying to prove anything. You stop arguing with price. You stop demanding outcomes. You simply execute your plan and accept the result. There is also the illusion of arrival, the belief that one day you will figure it out and trading will become easy. That day never comes. The market evolves, and so must you. What changes is not the difficulty, but your response to it. What once caused panic becomes routine. What once felt overwhelming becomes familiar. Growth in trading is quiet and internal. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. Most traders quit during this phase. They mistake calm for stagnation. They crave excitement because excitement once felt like progress. But excitement is expensive. Calm is profitable. The trader who learns to value boredom over stimulation has crossed an invisible threshold. I want you to understand this deeply. The market does not reward effort. It rewards correctness. You can work endlessly and still fail if your actions are misaligned. You can trade very little and succeed if your timing and discipline are precise. This offends the ego, which believes effort deserves reward. The market has no ego, only mathematics. If you are still listening, it means some part of you recognizes these truths. That matters. Awareness precedes change, but awareness alone is not enough. You must act differently when the next opportunity comes. Not perfectly, but intentionally. One small improvement, consistently applied, is more powerful than any dramatic breakthrough. This is why I encourage you to engage with this channel beyond a single video. Each video you watch reinforces the same foundation: patience, risk, timing, and self-mastery. They are not separate lessons. They are one discipline expressed repeatedly, because repetition is how principles take root. And I urge you again to study the ebook linked in the description, Thinking Like Jesse Livermore, Mastering the Market with Discipline, Patience, and Risk. Not once, but many times. Read it when things are going well, and especially when they are not. Under pressure, memory fades. Principles must be reinforced. Before you leave, I ask you to do one thing. Leave a comment below and commit to a single change. Not a list, not a vague intention. One specific behavior you will stop. One rule you will follow without exception. This public commitment matters more than you realize. The market does not require brilliance. It requires obedience to reality. It does not reward speed. It rewards readiness. And it does not punish failure. It punishes refusal to learn. Most traders stay broke because they never change who they are in relation to risk, patience, and control. You do not have to be one of them. If you are willing to take responsibility, slow down, and think differently, the market will meet you halfway, not with kindness, but with opportunity. Master yourself, and the market becomes manageable. Ignore yourself, and the market becomes unforgiving. The choice is always yours.